Hey, how's it going? I am Nick. Welcome to Modern Golf Society. So, on Module 1, we just gave you an introduction on Golf Simulator bays. Let's dive into Module 2, which is choosing the right space for your golf simulator. So, whether you're setting it up in a garage, spare room, dedicated golf shed, which is awesome and good on you if you're able to do that, these guidelines will help you make an informed choice. So, what's the minimum space required for your golf simulator? We briefly spoke about this last time. The height, the minimum that we would recommend is 9 feet. 10 feet is optimal. That'll allow you to swing freely. You know, there is such thing as a indoor golf swing. So, if you're swinging in a more confined space, your brain's going to say, hey, I'm not able to swing this driver, normally. So, it might take a lot of swings. If you do have a shorter ceiling height, it might take a lot of swings before you actually get used to it. So just be aware, bigger is better for especially for driver swings. Width. We're going to recommend at least 9 to 10 feet to accommodate your stance and swing. But if you have 14 feet, awesome. That's perfect. Depth. 14 feet would be minimum recommended depth, but 18 feet would be optimal. 18 feet minimum. So these measurements are just guidelines. You need to consider the extra space if you have, if you have a wider swing, if you're really tall, or you have longer clubs. So what are the ideal room types, and where do you set up your golf simulator? One that's becoming extremely popular is your garage, especially with retractable impact screens. This is becoming popular because typically your ceiling height is pretty high. You obviously have, especially if it's a double garage, you have plenty of width. Another place that's very popular is a spare room in your house or your basement. The basement's, it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing for a man cave. Obviously, if you're able to put a golf simulator down there, if you have high enough ceilings in your basement, that is a perfect place. The one of the newest styles and things to do and where to build your golf simulator would be a dedicated golf shed or outbuilding. This way you can customize the space of the shed. You can ensure it's well insulated. You can basically start from ground zero and build your golf simulator. So if you're able to afford that, that would be phenomenal. Just whichever room you choose, prioritize location with minimal interference. You're going to want to be able to swing the club freely. Preferably have the golf mat in the center of the screen. If you can't, that's fine. You can still use it. Environmental factors to consider. So, temperature control. You want to avoid spaces with extreme temperatures, obviously. You're not going to want to put it in an attic that's not ventilated, especially if you're in a warm climate. It'll be way too hot. You need to put it in a moisture-resistant area. Basements and sheds can have moisture. You just need to make sure the dehumidification process is in place. Obviously, the moisture barriers. The last thing you want to do is get your impact screen wet. If you have a nice golf floor, you don't want to get it wet. It'll likely stain. Lighting control. You'll want to have. This isn't completely necessary, but you'll want to have dimmable lights if you can. That way you can dim it down. Your projector will show nicer on your impact screen. If you have your impact screen set up in front of a window, they make blackout curtains that you can put behind there, so it'll darken, so the light won't bleed through the impact screen. Clearance tips for different swing styles. So ceiling height. If you're a really tall player, you need to take that into consideration. You might need more than 10 feet to make you feel comfortable swinging the golf club. You can likely swing with a 10-foot ceiling, but it may be you may need higher if you're really tall, and and your backswing is very long. Swing path considerations. So allow enough space behind you. So that's something important to think about how much space behind you you're swinging, and on both sides of you. So just test your swing with the club in the space before you go all in on this to ensure that you're comfortable swinging a golf club in that area. Layout tips for the optimal simulator setup. So this isn't critical, but it makes it feel a little bit better if you have a centralized tee position. So center the tee in the room, center it in the middle of the impact screen. Projector placement. You need to place the projector somewhere high where it's out of the way. I mean, you can have it on the floor. I've had ours mounted in the floor. They have enclosures that you can put them in that'll protect them. So you either want to put it on the ceiling or down in front of you in a projector cover enclosure. They make really nice ones that'll protect it. I have ours. It's almost directly above, and it's really good because it's really high. I have 13-foot ceilings in our golf studio. The screen or net position. So for the impact screen, you want to allow at least 6 to 7 feet. We have ours somewhere between, it moves depending on the launch monitor that we're using, but 11 to 13 feet away. I like to be a little bit farther away, but you can get away with 6 to 7 feet away from the screen and still feel comfortable with swinging a golf club. Protective padding. You may want to put protective padding on the wall or net extensions out from your simulator bay to protect from errant shots. Additional equipment to enhance your simulator space. Adjustable lighting. I've went over this a couple times. It's pretty important. I have overhead lights on in our golf studio, and there's several different options that I can put. It changes the mode of the lighting, the actual hue of the lighting, and they're dimmable as well. Flooring options. You can get padded mats like the exercise foam and then put carpet over top of them, or they make really nice golf simulator floors that look awesome, putt great. You can practice. You can turn this into the ultimate practice facility for yourself. Wall padding and netting just adds extra safety, as I spoke about in the last slide. Accessory storage. So you want to, there's different storage bays and units and club holders and things like that you can buy to add extreme convenience to your practice. We have a fan in our golf studio just for ventilation, especially when it's warm in the summertime. I don't have air conditioning in that room. But, we get the fan going, it's fine, just blows a little breeze, it's perfect. So if it's somewhere that doesn't have air conditioning, you may want to add a fan to it. So final thoughts on choosing your ideal space. You want to choose the right space for your golf simulator that can greatly enhance and protect your equipment. So from garage to a basement, each space has its pros and cons. Use these guidelines to best fit your needs. Remember, you can always make adjustments to improve the space over time. You can add the additional items to keep making your golf simulator better. So if you're ready to dive deeper into specific components, move on to Module 3. We'll talk all about it. And I want to thank you for listening to Choosing Your Ideal Space. Please post pictures of your build, your golf simulator build. Ask questions. We'll be here for you. Thank you. Appreciate your time.